Hello dear viewers, I would like to share with you my experience of installation and use of Tesla solar panels. This is 7.56 kilowatt medium size system, and I do not have any Powerwall batteries, and installation and start of this system was a very bumpy road. So if you want just a short answer if I like it, the short answer is yes. For those who want to hear not only the positive things but also the real life negative sides of this installation, please stay on. Installation of this system took, unfortunately, 2 delays and 2 breakdowns. One delay was because of my preferences. In the middle of the roof I had a vent pipe. Second delay was because of the electrical system and some kind of misunderstanding of Tesla, how my house electrical system works. And finally there were 2 breakdowns. First happened right away when I was supposed to start up the system, so it broke down immediately, and second time it broke down 2 weeks after it was fixed. Important question: how Tesla stands against its competitors? So before I took my Tesla solar panels, I requested approximately 8 different quotes from different companies, and this is the table that I was able to make out of this information. For moral purposes, I do not put the names of these companies. I just indicate if they're local, medium or global companies, the competitors of Tesla. So when I was buying a Tesla solar system, the price was this. So it makes it as $2.58 per watt, and here you can see all the hardware that is used, solar panels, type of inverter, and if they use optimizers. And fortunately nowadays we have Google Earth, so all these companies didn't have to come to make the estimate and prepare the quote. They can look online on the shape of the house, how house is turned to the sun, and make a quote out of it. So you can see that Tesla beats everyone in terms of price per watt. On my roof I was potentially able to get bigger systems, but for the way higher price. And as you can see, the majority of companies were using very similar hardware, inverters, SolarEdge. In couple instances it would be microinverters. I would say that the solar panels that Tesla is using are a little bit more inferior to in comparison to other solar panels, like especially Panasonic and LG. But if you compare price, and if you try to make system reasonable, not the top-notch, then probably you will agree that Tesla is using reasonable solar panels. The most outrageous case was when one global solar panel installer offered exactly same hardware. It was same panels. They didn't tell me what kind of inverter they're using, but it is either SolarEdge or I believe Delta. They did not want to put any optimizers to my roof. They had way smaller system, but their price was really big. As you can see, price per watt was the highest. The only way Tesla can be more expensive than that is that if you order Tesla with Powerwalls, and at that moment when I was buying my system, it would cost me way more and it would raise the price per kilowatt of the energy generated. So that is why I went with Tesla without Powerwall. First delay was related to a ventilation sewage pipe that was poking out of almost the middle of the roof, and this vent pipe is supposed to vent out all the fumes from the sewage system. So if this pipe was here, I wouldn't have the middle part of this solar panel system, and Tesla offered to move these solar panels onto the north side of the roof. I didn't want to do this, so I asked Tesla if they can cut this pipe and cover with the solar panels, and this pipe would still serve its purpose because it would be open pipe but just very short. Tesla checked and said that the law in our state does not allow them to do this. In many other states they can do it easily. So I had to hire a contractor. I took a quote from multiple people and it was between $200 and $2,000. Finally I went with my friend who is a licensed contractor and who has a license in plumbing and roofing, and he did everything perfectly well and it cost approximately $300. So because of this pipe issue, I had to ask Tesla to delay the installation for a few weeks until I find the contractor. That was the first delay. This is the cause for second delay. This is our electrical board, and when the crew came, they opened the board and said that they cannot install the breakers into this board because the bus is rated for the same rating as the box itself, 150 ampere, and by this year code, the bus need to be rated 120% of the rating of the box. So they offered to install this separate box with fuses instead of breakers inside, or they can upgrade this electrical box for $2,000. And I was concerned if everything is all right with electrical box, so they were calling the engineers to confirm this, and I called my technician, my electrician, who came and said that actually box is in perfectly fine condition and up to current code, but he agrees that according to their code they cannot install breakers into this, and he convinced me not to spend any money for upgrading this electrical box because it is absolutely fine and maybe 10 or 20 year old and in perfectly working condition. So he said, yes, take the offer for no extra charge fuses, and he said it is not fuses that were used in 1920, it is commercial grade fuses that usually installed into commercial installations. But during all these talks and double checking everything, the day passed and the crew left without installation of the system, and we had to reschedule to another day. I would say it was painful to see how all the boxes with my last name written on them were loaded back into the trucks and went away. But this is the cause for the second delay. The culprit of the first breakdown is this inverter. This is SolarEdge inverter HD Wave, and as installation guys saying that this is the latest model and they say it is pretty reliable, but on the day of activation I clicked switches and nothing happened. These lights I mean, nothing happened in terms of production. In terms of any indications, you can see right now it is solid green light, which means that the system is working and producing electricity. But that time, this light was blinking, as well as red light on top of this and blue light below this, and they were blinking randomly. I called Tesla, and they advised me to restart the system. I did again. They told me to wait for 24 hours to see if system starts working. 24 hours later, I called them and explained that it is still blinking red, green, blue lights, and absolutely randomly blinking them. The technician advised me to restart system again. I restarted again and nothing happened again. And the technician said, okay, let's wait another 24 hours because it is brand new installation. It should work. It's unlikely that something is wrong with it. So I waited another 24 hours and called them again. That time I didn't have to restart anything. They said, yes, we immediately issuing the ticket for work order, and scheduling department will contact you and schedule the time. So that's the trick. If you want something scheduled quickly, you better call by yourself. You better take the phone number for the scheduling department and schedule the visit. This is what I did, and 12 days later the technician came. He opened the SolarEdge inverter, and inside of the upper part of the box everything was in the soot. Looks like something exploded inside, maybe capacitor. And he said it is very unfortunate situation, but looks like it's just dead on arrival. And he managed to find within 2 days another brand new inverter in the box, bring it, install it, and everything started working. It worked for 1.5 weeks when we had second breakdown. And for the second breakdown, we will have to go in the basement. But the second breakdown was very different. There were no lights. Nothing was here, no indication, nothing on the meter. And everything looked absolutely dead. But let's go to the basement and I will show you what happened. And again, we're next to this fuse box that I was talking before. This is the cause for the second breakdown. When the system stopped working second time and there were no lights, nothing showing up, and the technician on the phone told me to restart everything from outside of the house. I did, nothing happened, no lights, nothing. And only a few days later, it just struck me, there is another box with shut off. So I came downstairs into the basement. I shut off the switch and turned it back on. I went back to the inverter and I saw that inverter started blinking for like 5 minutes or 10 minutes and then went dead again. I came back here. I opened the box and looked at the fuses. I do not want to do it right now because I will have to shut off the power for that. Fuses looked fine, but as far as I know, this is now not how you check them. They will look fine even if they're burnt inside. But anyway, I closed the box, I turned the power back, and I wiggled this handle and made sure that it switched very well. It is knife type of the switch inside. Went back outside to check the inverter and everything started working, and 10 minutes later the system started producing the power. So when technician came, I asked him what was, technician second time came, it took almost 2 weeks for him to come, but he came and I told him what happened. He checked inverter first and he found nothing wrong with the inverter. He updated software for the inverter and came downstairs. He looked at the box and said that box looks fine, and I asked him, could you please check the switch? So he opened the box and he wiggled the switch, and he found that there was bad contact in one of the knives, and it even made an arc while he was trying to check if it is a good contact or not. And what he did, he shut off the power and he adjusted the contact. So the problem was not with installation of the box, but the box itself. The knife switches, knife contacts inside, they were not touching completely completely tight. And he adjusted this, and after that everything started working well again. Now the part that Tesla is very proud of, it's their Tesla application. This is how it looks like when you open it. It shows how much solar is produced and how it is distributed between the house and the grid. When there is no light in the sky, no production, you would see how from the grid electricity goes into the home. So I'm using the tablet to show this because I would like to show in real time what the features of this. First of all, you can see like energy is flowing. It is very deceptive because actually it is not real time flow of energy. It has approximately 15-minute delay. So if you turn on the stove or air conditioner, you wouldn't see immediately how increases the energy consumption by your house. It only will happen approximately 15 minutes later, and it will be averaged over this time. But anyway, probably after few days or maybe month of use of the app, you wouldn't care already about if it is real life or it is with the delay. So what other options are? Here you can see how during the day the electricity was produced. You can click this button and you will see how energy was consumed during the day by the house. And if you click this button, you will see how grid was supplying energy. If it is negative, means that energy was pushed into the grid. So if we turn off this, we will see that from the morning when it was dark, the energy was pulled from the grid. When solar panels started producing electricity, this electricity was pushed back into the grid. So here we can also choose, do you want to see week or month or year or lifetime of the production? Let's say week, and we will see how over the week, every day, how production happened, and this is how much it was consumed by the house. So here it will tell you that it was consumed this amount of energy and produced this amount of energy. And from here you can see we had a couple days that were very cloudy. It was raining the whole day, and as a result there is no production, while some days it was very good production. Same way we can see, let's say, over the month. This is production over the month and consuming over the month. You can see the worst ever day of production. You can see it was produced only 5.8 kilowatt over the whole day, and that was the day when the rain was going cats and dogs the whole day. There was no sunlight peeking through the clouds. I am completely surprised that there was any kind of production. And in comparison, this is the all-time best production so far. It was in July, so the length of the day was probably one of the longest, and you can see there was almost no clouds except some part of the day, and production was 45.3 kilowatt hours. Sunny and hot day in July comes not only with good production but also with more consumption. You can see here we had to use air conditioning a lot because it was very hot and very humid in the house, and you can see how much house consumed, and this is how much was generated. If you want to see less details and more like summary, that would be called impact, and it shows how much of energy was produced and how much was consumed. To summarize this video, I would say that if I had a chance to start all over again with the solar system and the choosing of the solar system, I would go again with Tesla, because for me it matters more not that the road has no bumps, but how the company handles all the problems and handles all the issues that came along the way. And generally I liked how everything came out, how everything was handled. I like how the system looks. It is very nice and sleek, and I like how it produces. So if you make up your mind and decide to go with Tesla, please use my reference that I would attach to this video. Thank you, goodbye. It is 7:27 p.m. Relatively dark. And the solar system is still producing. Not much, like 100 watt, but still it is producing. It is 7 in the morning, and the skies are very gray and it is very cloudy. So no direct sunlight, especially at 7 a.m. At the end of the August. But if you look at the solar age inverter, it shows that it is already producing electricity. Moreover, if you look at the meter connected to the solar panels, they show that they produce an electricity. You can see the bars running from right to the left, which means from the house to the grid. This is the night mode of solar age inverter. You can see that it blinks once in a few seconds.